Like they need a bit of time to get revved up here.
Feeling a bit deflated after seeing LGD winning a game and kind of going, oh my god, we could do this, and then pretty much being dismantled in team fights despite having a huge early lead on their middle laner. And we're going to see now if LGD can dash the hopes of JD Gaming. We're going to jump straight in. It's actually going to be LGD picking up the Yuuki this time, and they get the Karthus on their hands as well. And you get your wish from game 2. It's going to be Garvey on that rally.
Garvey is absolutely insane on this champion. During the BLG series, he actually beat out a 1v2, and now he's going to go up against Zoom's Renekton.
Thalia jungle. Haven't seen that one in a very long time.
I think we have.
I haven't.
Okay.
There's a difference to me and you, but Thalia jungle definitely fell out of favor as you lost a lot of that damage, a lot of that wave clear that she gets from her Q, able to take out those camps. Takes her a little bit longer now. I don't dislike it. I just want to see how well it can do on JD Gaming. As we're going to jump straight into game 3, ladies and gentlemen. No break, no rest for the wicked. There's a chance roar out again. TSM! There was a TSM! Yes!
Oh, it's a TSM guy. Jake actually had, Hysterics actually ran into the TSM guy. They had a good sit-down conversation.
The actual TSM guy?
There's probably more than one.
Well, there's one very famous one. They did a whole feature on him. Because he's the guy who goes to every single week of LCS. So I doubt that
No, it's not that one.
Yeah,
it's the one that does it in the LPL.
Oh, we see now badeMan not going to find anything with that Scryers, but side of JD Gaming are ready for this. And they have 4 people here. Flash headbutt into the ground. So see badeMan flashing away, but he has nowhere to go. And he's just going to have to forfeit his life and his summoner.
Okay, the only question remaining is, did he get a stack? If he got a stack for both Karthuses.
Oh, but they're not done. Ooh. Kanavi gets exhausted right now, so there's no real damage onto this one here, and they can put the reset down. I like this from the side of LGD. They're saying, no, you don't just get a free pass, but the teleport's coming in from Zoom, and Zoom's found himself on the back end of this. Kramer's on the back side of this as well. He's probably going to force to try and get away from this. He flashes away. Imp pursuits, and LGD just trying to see if they can get anything off of this. Now Imp's in a bit of a bad situation. The stun lands, and they get him! PYL returns the kill! What is this level 1?
You can't be a Kiana in the river. She just instantly picks up that that stun there and finishes Imp's life.
And this is actually pretty big because no summoners now for the side of Kramer. No TP for Imp. He came back. He came back to try and just, he went back to base because he took a huge chunky TP back in to try and fight that. But Garvey
is that going to be the
doesn't have the full, knows there is a Ruthless Hunter there to be able to heal him up. The Q has a lot of damage, but that kill back equals up this game. And LGD, this is the game we wanted. This is what we wanted to see from these two teams.
Are you not entertained? Level 1 play until 3 minutes. Yeah. That's the LPL I love.
This is more like it when I came over. Because the last few weeks, I won't lie to you, the last few weeks have been slower. They've been a bit less chaotic. One team fight decides all. No, I want skirmishes. I want level 1s. And I want people to really go in ham. And badeMan's just not having any luck with these red trinkets at all. He's just not finding anything he wants.
At least he's got a stack for sure. He's got that assist down. So
100% has a stack. Actually, I quite like this from LGD as well, just prioritizing. They want to put down this Thalia straight away, and we talked about how we haven't seen her in the jungle as of late, and there's very good reasons why. Her clear is not amazing, but also she gets 1v1 very, very easily in her own jungle.
A lot of times when you see the Thalia, she's the standard counter in the LPL has been the Xin Zhao. You just rush onto her with what it used to be phase rush then, and you just keep on chasing her down. So not a lot of teams have been going for her, but we do know that RNG is one of those teams that, Xiaohu plays a mean Thalia, and it also has become a flex for Karthus as well. I believe he used it earlier on in the split, so I don't think it's the first time we've seen Thalia in the jungle whatsoever, but definitely a rarity, I call it.
Kanavi gonna jump in, flash, flick. Nicely done, and honestly, that was pure just mistake from Garvey. That vision was there. They knew that Thalia was up top side.
Couldn't get out fast enough, and that's always been the strong point about Thalia jungle is if you have a guaranteed stun in lane, it's so easy to chain the crowd control up. We've seen Alistar, Thalia be kind of the go-to for RNG. They're the most frequent users of it.
Uh-oh. Looks like the regank is potentially coming in, but badeMan is here to try and scout out, make sure that Garvey is safe. badeMan gonna land. Wall of Pain does hit as well, so they're able to get a lot of damage. You can see it just stacking and stacking, burning this Renekton down. Thalia unfortunately knows that she cannot join this fight. I'm gonna back away. They know she's in her jungle now.
One of the best things about Thalia in the jungle is because of her one-shot burst potential, it's very difficult for enemy junglers to walk in. Just going into blind vision is almost always a death sentence, but this time around they do have Qiyana coming in from the mid lane as well, so they are going to deny a lot of minions from Zoom.
Trying to just make sure he's put down. Zoom, no teleport, of course. Used it earlier in that level 1 exchange, so still waiting for that cooldown to come back.
It's a full wave and a half being taken away.
See the Hex Flash. There is the Pulverize as well. So we're going to see a lot of damage put down onto Kramer. Has not got Flash, but heal has been used. Ignite is ticking. Not going to be able to take him down. Kramer does have to go back, but they did blow Imp's Flash.
Yeah, 100 HP there, and everything from PYL used as well just to keep the targets alive here. So this is going to be a prime ganking ground for JD Gaming. Like we were mentioning, the Alistar plus Thalia combo. Favorite of RNG, and looks like JD Gaming has learned the trick as well.
What do you want to see from JD Gaming coming into this early game? Like, they seem to have a pretty good idea about what they want to do, but whether or not they'll be allowed to do it is a very different story. So what do you perceive them doing towards this kind of, 10 to 15 minute mark? Well,
this one is really a kill lane focused composition. I think it's very well selected because Karthus is not going to interact with any of it. Karthus is going to be an absent parent just waiting for the late game. So you're not going to get punished much. If you go strong on one gank, Karthus is not going to dive the other side. You don't have to worry about that whatsoever. So JD Gaming, I like the way they drafted this comp, and the key thing is just you can overload, you can over-aggress onto just focusing on lanes without really worrying about anything happening to your weak side.
Great ward, going to spot out Kanavi. You can see it just there to the left, or actually did it. Be interesting to see if they know that that's happening, but a lot of people rotating up here. badeMan is here as well, so it looks like they're just trying to keep numbers in their favor. The Alistar has moved his way up. Overall, I think they're just going to have to give up a little bit of CS. Nothing too crazy, a plate or two. badeMan going to miss, and everyone backs away. Good respect given to JDG by LGD.
I just realized how badly Yagao was affected by the level 1. He's 35 CS down in lane.
Oh my god.
Didn't really see that one coming. I think he did miss out on a lot on the first wave, as Qiyana was later towards a rotation. So JD Gaming really suffering heavily from that one. Not only do they lose the kill on the bot side, the mid lane heavily impacted.
Mountain Drake is the first one to spawn, as we see the CS difference, and actually with the Kanavi picking up that kind of Thalia, that more gank heavy, like you said, the kill pressure, CS going to the farm king of Karthus, and something we've seen a lot of kind of LPL junglers pick up has been this Karthus pick, mainly because they don't have to skirmish with it, but when they do, they're able to put down so much damage.
Yeah, Karthus has been a pretty new invention in the LPL. I know other regions have been playing it for such a long time because of how safe this champion is, but in the LPL, it really only started propping up after Rift Rivals. It was the exposure to the ways of the LCK that kind of said, you know what, if we just take everything slow and scale up, this is actually a super strong pick. Previously, only Ning was the one to pick it up and was considered a happy champion. But now, if you have a strong mid-early game like this one that allows a lot of scaling and stack taking, oops, good dodge.
Good headbutt as well from the LvMao, as he's able to keep his 80 carry safe. No summoners burned either on his end, as the Yuuki was roaming down on this Qiyana. Hasn't rushed the Moby boots like we saw earlier today for Vichy Gaming, for Jay, but in the end, doesn't really need them as of this moment. Dragon almost certainly going to be started and potentially taken. The Thalia going up towards the top side, so no real contest coming in for this one either. And Yagao is just going to use the package. It's a little bit of a mini equalizer just to try and clear out this wave, get some pressure mid.
And the majority of the times we do see Kiana going for the Tiamat first, and the Mobies then transitioning into lethality items. But since Kiana, this game, is so far ahead, she can leave lane wherever she wants to. She's actually just foregoing the Tiamat and going for raw damage. The kill threat is enough to stop people from falling in on her, and I really enjoy that.
Yeah, picking up a Serrated Dirk nice and early, and strange to see a Yuumi Ezreal have so much pressure now in this bot side. LvMao going up towards that top side did definitely put Imp into a bit of a predicament where he was forced under turret. Is CSing fairly well though, and gold lead is negligible at best for the side of LGD.
This is great. You know, Zoom is not going to like the looks of this, but what does Karthus need from a red buff? Like,
Karthus doesn't need anything.
Yeah.
Like, he doesn't actually use it that effectively as well. So they're going to jump straight in onto PYL, who forces out the final chapter. He was ignited, didn't actually anchor, and I'm surprised that he didn't.
He must have just came off.
Maybe the cooldown wasn't on there, but that is a an interesting one there. LGD get caught out, and Kanavi using his Weaver's Wall was there just in case they needed it, but now they might look just for the dive because they have got the potential.
And we've talked about the one shot in that play. LvMao didn't even have to use flash. It was a straight WQ into a kill there. So very unfortunate for the bot side. It is going to prompt a re-gank happening sometime soon. And
did he catch him mid? Yeah, just there. He caught him mid. And that's just unfortunate for the cat. Now Kanavi is just sitting here with his support, waiting for Karthus to come in. But Karthus, he smells something up. He smells that there is something amiss, and now he knows that smell was a cow. Oh, good flash away, but he's invested so much now, and that's going to be a huge amount of damage put down onto the Alistar. TP coming in, he's able to delay. He's able to keep himself alive. Zoom is here. There's the ultimate that does keep him alive, but there's the Requiem to finish off the kill, and now Zoom's in a little bit of trouble. The flash in, the kill. It's just so much flawless duets, not going to hit onto anybody, but Garvey's on your back line, and Garvey picks up a double kill. 4 kills for none.
JD Gaming get wiped on that one. I don't think they had to keep on going in after that. Kiana over the wall was going to seal out the ramp regardless. That was a situation where you just cut your losses and run. After the flash did not work onto badeMan, you had to get away from that. They actually overcommitted for JD Gaming, and they even spent the teleports and everything on Zoom to get in the position that they're at. Massive loss here.
Huge amount of summers used. You can see here that just how tanky this Alistar is. Like you said, they should have just backed away.
Yeah, there's like Kanavi going in after they spotted out Yuuki was very questionable. You just can't expect to get away from that. Look how easy it is for Yuuki to just close down that ramp. Nowhere for you to go. They lose the kills, and this was just so cool to watch. He even dodges out on the seismic shove as well. Oh man, I think we found a new champion for Yuuki to main.
Has that Dustblade of Drakkar now in his inventory, 1-0-3, but saw LGD get a similar lead in game 1 against JDG and weren't able to finish it off. See if it is, or sorry, game 2 I should say, and weren't able to finish it off. So let's see if JDG are able to crawl this one back again. But right now, very questionable decisions being made by JDG, and definitely calling in that teleport from Zoom just kind of left them within a, you know, kind of between a rock and a hard place because they had to hard commit to try and protect him.
Yeah, everyone just went in for the support. You know, LvMao is the captain of this team, so as the captain goes, so do the rest of the crew. And unfortunately for them, that just wasn't a winnable fight in the position that they were in, getting cut off, getting the ramp sealed. So far JD Gaming's kill lane kind of idea didn't really work. The only time we saw it be successful was in the bottom side of the map. And that looks like it's going to be taking a lot of tower damage, and we're going to see the lane start to open up.
And badeMan cannot contest the Rift Herald, doesn't want to anyway. He's just going to be able to push down this turret. That's going to be first turret of the game going over to LGD, while Rift Herald was traded over in the top side. You can imagine that Kanavi will look for that, possibly in the top lane or maybe the mid. Thalia, though, is getting pretty damn big. They need to kind of shut her down before that Triforce becomes into full fruition.
I'm just surprised that teams don't do this more often. I don't feel like LvMao gets punished enough on his roams, and I really like what badeMan just did. Just walk up to your towers like, hey, you know what? I bet Alistar isn't here. It's like, oh my god, you're right. And
It's
then you
almost
just
like
take
this is something we scouted. But Dragon, second Mountain Drake of the game, going to spawn up here. Flash is available for LvMao. Package used, so I can almost tell you right now that JDG will not be contesting this Mountain Drake. They're just going to try and go for that top lane turret. Keep the Rift Herald in reserve in case they need it for a later push, which I quite like. Don't have to waste it on a tower that was going to go down anyway. And overall, JDG just trying to fight back with as much as they can, but they are starting to bleed objectives.
Yeah, they have a lot of members on LGD that they can't fully contain right now. I think Qiyana is going to be the major problem. 40 CS over the Corki. This jungle is just going to be her playground from now on. She gets great use of all that brush. It's going to be impossible to actually nail her down before her entire team rotates. So I like what JDG do here. Typically, when they see one side being controlled by the other team, they're just like, you know what? We give up. We'll just go to the other side of the map. This place is yours.
We didn't hit anything.
Fans, you have to be quiet.
Yeah, it's like going to a theater, pantomime. It's like, he is behind you! Yuuki realizing that he had been in no man's land for a very long time, and the spidey senses of Yagao was definitely tingling, saying that this Qiyana has been in a state of unknown for a very long time himself, so I don't think I should really move up without proper vision established in my own jungle. Overall, the game state just kind of goes back to a neutral.
Yep. We do see each side just trading in vision, and I like this move from JD Gaming. Don't want to contest Qiyana whatsoever in that side of the map. Just farm up, be happy with what you can get elsewhere. I'm always just astounded by how much invisibility time Qiyana gets on her Q with the brush element. It's 3.5 seconds.
God damn.
That's so long. If you have
late game, you could literally get that like to like straight off cooldown.
Yeah, if you go on a full 45% CDR, there's only 0.35 seconds in between invisibility. You can almost say permanently stealth. And after that, it's just a question of, well, can you make most use of the Duskblade passive, which resets every 1 second, so you have to bob in and out of vision.
Well, Rift Herald has been deployed now into this mid lane. We'll take it down to just below half HP. Up to the side of JDG to try and look for this one here, but spotted out. They are going to back away. LvMao just able to keep away, playing bouncer to the Qiyana. They do not get that mid lane turret, but they get it very, very low, so it's prepped for later. Garvey has got teleport available just a moment. Fight is potentially going to pop up. Third Mountain Drake going to be spawning in 2.5 minutes. And you can imagine that the side of JDG do not want to give that one over. They say that Yuuki gets caught out. Or is it? They are going to back away. They do trade 2 ultimates for 1. There is the Ezreal True Shot Barrage, going to bring them down to just above 1/5 HP. And that's going to force the side of JDG back. And I'm not quite sure what has happened.
It does seem like a bit of technical issues here, but we're getting back. It's Garvey versus Zoom in the 1v1.
Garvey versus Zoom in a 1v1, but with a Karthus in the game, it is never really a true 1v1. It doesn't matter. Zoom proves that he is the dominant male in that top side. As now the side of JDG maybe try to turn this around. Yagao flashes away, but a Weaver's Wall is going to bring in Kanavi as he looks for badeMan. badeMan not able to be taken down just yet. Yuuki was off to the side. Silence before the storm. As both fights end up erupting, and it ends up being JDG who come out reasonably on top. But this tower will go down in favor of LGD.
And the big question here is are we going to get badeMan's ultimate?
Flash! And that's going to be LvMao going in, but he shall only go in once. Because when you flash in, you have no way out. No! Not going to be able to hit it. Don't think it would have killed him either. But the True Shot Barrage not able to land. They trade 1 for 1. Karthus goes down. Oh, as I say that though, Kanavi was found. Ignite did get popped on top of him. And this is just fight, fight, fight now for the rest of this particular game.
It does look like we're going to have a full ultimate reset just before the third Mountain Drake. So that one is actually going to be slightly in favor of LGD as they did expend the Karthus ultimate earlier. And this is going to be the big one. No team can really survive with cripples. Oh, Yuuki misses!
Oh, Yuuki needs to be so damn careful. He's such a skill matchup. If he misses up on that ultimate, it's just not going to be able to sustain himself and burst down Yagao. Yagao does so damn well at just keeping himself alive. Zoom is here as well. They're going to be able to take down this bot lane turret, but they will trade it for top.
Yeah, this is massive for JD Gaming. This is going to secure them the third Mountain Drake. Not much you can do without Kiana's ultimate. Still 100 seconds on that one. So LGD do what the best they can and just pine away the towers in the top side.
That depends on now what the side of LGD want to do. They're going to push up this mid lane, 3 seconds to that Mountain Drake, but Baron has spawned and you have a Karthus. That's the trade you're looking for right now if you're on the side of LGD, but they have been spotted out.
JD Gaming are the masters of sneaking early Baron, so I'm pretty sure that they have this one in their thoughts and prayers. They are going to be able to come in and LGD just can't finish.
LGD just did not commit hard enough to that. I feel like if they had actually just fully gone for it, they would have been able to bring it down to at least down to 2,000 or 3,000 HP.
Yeah, it would have been a bit too risky, I would say, since there was only a solo member from JD Gaming on that Mountain Drake. It was a pretty good defense from JD Gaming. I think they allocated their players very well. And thanks for that, badeMan. So sweet.
Unfortunate there, badeMan. That's twice that we've seen him almost get it, but not quite. It's very fortunate. Same with game one with the Olaf. Nearly got it. Didn't quite get it.
Really is a great guy. Sings for you, also helps you do your chores.
Yeah, man. He's the sixth man. 6v4, new game mode. As we see now, Yuuki gonna spot out the flying cow, flashing over that wall. Yuuki now going to see if he can keep himself alive. And now the pressure is on LGD. They're now losing tempo. Yes, they have a 3,000 gold lead, but JDG, we talked about this in game 1, 2, and now 3, they're the ones dictating the pace. They're the ones dictating where these fights are happening. And that's not what you want if you're LGD.
LGD really don't have the greatest team fight comp after just the river objectives are taken. I feel like they're much more of an early game kind of snowballing composition. Kiana is a champion. Even when she's ahead, she has a lot of problems actually doing the full committal split pushing. You don't have the brush, you don't have the water element if you split push too deep. So very difficult to make use of her kit there. And I think we're slowly going to see LGD just kind of push back on their side of the map. They're still going to have the lead, so JD Gaming can't force too hard. But they're also going to find it very difficult to just be able to get much of a split push game. I think we're going to see the game drag out for a long time here.
It all comes down to how you take these fights. Death Cap finished up for the Karthus, and I like this adaptation. Seeing that there is little to no magic resistance on the side of JDG, knowing that his ultimate will just do pure damage straight on top of their heads. The Colonel's still favoring LGD. Can't count out JDG. You still got to give respect to the second place team in spring, regardless of their current form.
Only looks at gold lead.
Is that true?
In that graph, yeah.
Unfortunate.
He's a bit of a flip-flopper, I would say.
But yeah, like as I said, no magic resistance on anybody on the side of JDG, which means those Requiems are going to be pretty painful.
Yep, 328 AP already, but a pittance of stacks on Karthus. I'm sure he's going to rack up on those quite soon.
I want to see if he just like ults randomly. How much damage does it do?
Oh,
you know what I mean? Like just see it, just like like a stat check. You know, like a Syndra R, just like, can you survive this? And he like takes off someone like half health. It's like, cool, now I know.
If Karthus is fed enough, technically he could just stack on ultimate cooldown.
That's true. Just keep getting more and more. Yeah, he like does it, and he's like, and now I'm even more powerful.
Of course, you can only get 1 stack per Requiem. It doesn't give you the full 5 stacks if you find 5 people below 50% health. Yeah, I thought that was how it worked. I was like, oh my god, this is broken.
That would
competitive.
be so broken. But of course, the Riot balancing team have far greater minds than we do, and they're going to see Alistair take a bit of a chunk. Wall of Pain gets on top of him as well. There is a good true shot barrage, and that means Imp's out of the fight. He has got TP to rejoin though, so he should be able to come back, maybe even sustain up on these Raptors.
And if that just happens again, LGD instantly take Baron. All that was Mystic Shot, ultimate, and Karthus ult, turn around, do Baron. That's so easy to sell out for LGD at this point.
They are waiting for this package to go off, as I think it just went off there. It didn't actually you get to use it as such. No real vision here for the side of JDG, and they may have found themselves a jungler. Navi caught out, forced to go into status, and also goes in, but it's a great engage! Alistair onto the backside, but it doesn't matter because here comes Garvey and Yuuki, but Garvey is going to be the last survivor, but it doesn't matter. Here's the Requiem, 3 kills to 1. And the rest of the team are going to try and jump in on top of this. They do finish off Garvey eventually, but only a little bit more to catch up. Zoom and LvMao able to take themselves and back away, but with the Karthus still up, you got to imagine that's going to be Baron.
Yeah, it's a 3v2 defense right here. Zoom no longer has his ultimate. Will they walk into the trap? They have to check with their faces now.
Oh, there it is. Straight away, he told it. They had to check it, and now they know the Baron is being taken right now. They haven't got the best of health bars. They do have a Yuumi, though. Zoom is still around fairly healthy, has not got the dominance, but a TP is coming in as well. That's going to be Imp joining the fight. They've got the Baron down to about 50% HP. Is he looking to try and just engage on this one? It's a 3v2. Wall of Pain goes down. Flash in from the big fat Renekton as he goes in. Karthus is now down, and the Baron is still live. Baron has been stolen by the side of JDG, and now it's all onto Kramer as Garvey and Yuuki join the fight. They're trying to take away any resemblance of a Baron buff. Corki's the only one that keeps it, and it ends up being the Baron buff taken, but nothing gained for JDG.
I just forgot how fast this game is actually going. 26 minutes. Everyone is back before the death timers expire, and LGD, I think that's a small win for them, even though the gold lead...
Very small.
Yeah, it's a very, very small lead for them.
Oh, there is the flawless duet. Yagao needs to be very, very careful. It gets caught out. Good disengage here from the Renekton. Or sorry, it's not the Renekton, from the Alistair. Oh, that tower saved his life, but it doesn't matter.
That's gotta feel bad. He's dodged so much and gets killed by someone sitting in fountain.
Just respawned just in time, and that's going to mean another little bit of gold for him to pick up. And then, whoa! W stacked with the Arcane Shift. Kramer. LGD get themselves a dragon off the back of that, and they get rid of the last Baron buff as well.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is why you take Presence of Mind on Karthus. Gives you that cooldown back so incredibly fast. To watch this one again, Zoom, you see, goes directly onto badeMan, try to take away the smite away from this one, and Kanavi comes in at the right time. However, Kramer wins the AD carry duel, keeps himself alive, and everyone else, the solo lanes, come in, clean up the fight. Very good stuff from them. I thought LGD went a little bit crazy, but they were crazy on purpose. That Karthus ultimate was already ticking down extremely fast.
Is Karthus coming out trumps? 5-0-5 for Kramer. LGD have something to cheer about. This crowd feeling fine right now.
And you have a lot of teams cheering for LGD as well. If they can take down JD Gaming, it means that LvMao, they suddenly have a much better chance at securing their position. Heck, even EDG and IG ahead of them are going to feel relieved.
Here we go, Zoom trying to find here onto Garvey. Is Garvey just going to push back? Has got the Sterex, but he does get a full D-stack. As there is the Vanguard's Edge now on top of him. It doesn't matter. Zoom has this 1v1. Doesn't matter about your True Shot Barrage. Are we going to see another Karthus ult? No, I just checked the cooldown. It is not quite open. You can even see the Observer was waiting. The Observer went straight to Karthus like, you got something? But
it's
no.
just so damn fast that cooldown is going down. And this is the second Baron buff.
Minus 1,000 gold. So they lost gold. So the way the Baron buff works is you get 1,500 regardless of who has the rest of it. And then by the end of it, they had lost 2,500 gold. That's the negative in that place. So it's always like a little bit worse than it looks like.
Yep. LGD actually managed to kill every single member left that had the Baron buff and even took their turrets. So it was a complete net win for LGD after that tempo shift.
There's no objectives on the map. Let's bring it back down to earth. Calm the nerves. Calm ourselves. We're getting a bit hyped. Kermit.
I don't mind.
I'm sure we've all been called a lot worse. But for LGD, they're on the cusp again. They're on the moment of which they could potentially win this game. JDG, however, they can't let this happen. They cannot drop this series. They haven't got exactly the easiest of runs. Flawless sweat gonna land. Zoom gonna drop the Dominus now. But this time, it's not a 1v1, my friend. It is a 2v1. Stark's Gauge gonna be popped as well as the Dominus. They're able to keep everyone alive down here, but big cooldowns now on Zoom. He doesn't have those for the next fight.
Not the longest of cooldowns right now, and he does have full CDR, so he should be able to get all of them up for the next Drake. Of course, not particularly important to this Drake. I would say that this Drake is probably better for LGD in terms of the fight scenario that they want. Getting River. Oh wow!
Here we go. Kanavi gets deleted, and Yuuki
fast.
This Kiana Yumi, kind of setup is pretty strong. And that's going to give them a minute without this, jungler available to them. It will be up for any of the other fights, so luckily enough for JDG, no Baron to be taken, no Elder Drake as of yet, but don't know if there's much defense for this. Oh, but here comes the True Shot Barrage. Not going to be able to hit it, but it doesn't matter because you cannot miss a Requiem. badeMan is the bad man.
7 stacks already on Karthus, and LGD have an artillery squad on their team, Just the Ezreal Kramer holding down the mid lane with a volleyball game being set up. Not volleyball, dodgeball game being set up.
Volleyball still works. You're just throwing the ball back and forth from each other.
I'm not even sure that's legal, but okay.
Yeah. Never said it was a good volleyball game. And now LGD, with no mid laner available, going to crack open the base of JDG, and the fans, you can hear the hype, you can hear the claps. They know that it's potentially here for them to have something to cheer about. They're so close, but they just got to hold on and wait a couple more minutes.
The timers are going to be staggered right here. Of course, LGD is going to be favoring that top side, I assume. In fact, they're far enough ahead where they can actually just split off on both. Just getting that tempo down.
We haven't looked at the items in a very long time. Let's have a look at them now as we see the GA finished up there for Garvey. So he's going to be able to take a longer 1v1. Probably still shouldn't win against Zoom, but we'll be able to take a longer one nonetheless. A Death Cap, Void Staff, Sorkshoe, Karthus for badeMan against a team that has one player, now two, as I just see the Negatron Cloak being picked up there by Zoom, building magic resistance. He's going to shred these guys.
There's no way that LGD lose a team fight unless badeMan is actually just interrupted.
And also look at these items from Ezreal. Death Cap, Hex Gunblade. Like, he's got everything that just becomes awful for the side of JDG, but JDG are setting up a Death Rush behind them. Oh, Yuuki finds it out. And now they have to look for a fight. There's the engage. That's going to be missed out completely as Yuki's now on the backside. He's going to be able to catch out 3 people, but he goes down so low. Good Vanguard's edge on the 3 people. Now it's a fight on 2 fronts. Here comes the rest of the fight. 2 people on the side of LGD have gone down. Now the 3rd one will fall as the side comes in. But here comes Kramer. Kramer is able to take down so much of this damage. Weaver's Wall for side of the jungler saying, I am out of here. And then the TPs are coming in. They're going to look to end the game.
badeMan doesn't even have to use ultimate in that one. Yuuki stays alive long enough for the cavalry to arrive, and it's a 2v3 defense here. Yagao, as long as he clears out the wave, he should be fine right here.
But the lost chapter, or not the lost chapter, the final chapter lands, and the final Mystic Shot does as well. Kramer is just melting these turrets, these health bars, these dreams of JDG fans. He needs to be so careful!
He's down!
Double kill over to LGD, and they will take the Nexus turret, they will take the Nexus, and they will take this series 2-1.
Finally, the Requiem does come in. Garvey should still have enough time. Imp is so low.
It doesn't matter what you can do, Imp. It is an unofficial Quadra, and the crowd goes wild.
LGD, finally at the end of the split, they give the fans something to look forward to. It might not happen this split, but with Garvey on the roster, with this explosive solo lane, with Kramer still performing like an absolute madman, man, I'm just so excited for LGD. I am on this hype train. I am an LGD fan.
LGD, the memes,
the legends,
the hype around this roster, and they give themselves a well-deserved bow in front of a home crowd. And you can see how much it means to them. You can hear how much it means to them. Every single fight was met with gasps, fear, and a little bit of nerves.
This is a team that was playing in front of a home crowd that very well knows that they are no longer in playoffs. Doesn't matter what happens in the remaining series, but still they are able to get this type of a response from people. And I think it's well deserved. This is exciting League of Legends. There's a lot of fights going on, a lot of rough edges if we have to be honest here, but it's fun. It's LPL.
It's LPL. Couldn't have said it better myself, Clement. And for JD Gaming, this is an unfortunate loss, and one that will definitely stick out as a potential reason why they may not be in playoffs in summer, because right now they're on 6-8 with 1 game left. I think that's it. We'll have a quick check of that later.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they still have 2 left, but what it means is that at most they will only get.
Oh, they're 5 and. I think they're 5 and 7 then.
Yeah.
Yes, that sounds about right. 5 and 7.
They definitely have. They had 3 matches before today, so after the LGD loss, 2 matches left to go, and if they can only reach 7, that almost means it's nearly impossible for them to make playoffs at this point, because even the 8th place team LNG is on 6.
LNG are now on 7.
Oh yeah, they are on 7 after taking out Vici.
Exactly. Ooh. So that playoff place, JDG's hopes, not looking so bright. But we can focus on the negatives, or we can focus on the positives. And the positives where LGD, they have hope. They have someone in that top lane. Kramer looks like he's finally performing. If they can keep this roster together in 2020, they may be able to formulate some kind of a movement towards those playoffs. But it is a big if they can keep this playoff.
Just want to say it's going to take a little bit more than that to get me completely on the LGD.
You were just hyped a minute ago.
I was happy, but then I calmed down and came back to reality. I'm sorry.
What? What is this?
It's fun. It's fun. Okay.
Throw me under the bus, why don't you?
I'm sorry. I just want to go over, like, LGD in their previous splits. It's been 2016 spring split since they last made playoffs, so that's a 3-year drought already. And the last time they were close was actually in 2018 summer. Would have made playoffs, but missed out because of the Western Conference. So this is finally something in a long while to be happy for LGD. How far are they going to be propelled by that? Not quite sure, but I'm excited to learn.
And where is the next focus point for JDG? Because right now, they kind of have to, I won't say give up on playoffs, because it's still mathematically possible, of course.
It is possible.
But it's incredibly difficult now. Even more so than it was, you know, before this game now, because they've lost. It's effectively a 6-point gap opened up. They've lost a game, and the team that is currently holding 8 won a game.
To lose to LGD is just... It's actually quite normal. LGD always win their games after they're eliminated, after thinking about that. But it's going to be really hard for JD Gaming, especially for the fans, since this time playoffs is held in their own home arena during the semifinals, and they're not going to have a team to cheer for. However, like we were talking about, they could still make it to regional qualifiers. There is no nudging clause, so based on the points, even RNG would need to reach 3rd place to knock LGD off of that stool.
That's still, though, to getting to this part of the season, having done so well in spring, that's not what you want to be seeing going up against teams like potentially like your RNGs, like your potentially Bilibis, who look incredible right now in terms of getting points on the boards. You know, these are the types of teams that are high flying, and you're very much on a downward slope.
Yeah, and what happened this game is I think there was a lot of skirmishes that didn't go their way. They actually... JD Gaming is a team that rarely finds opponents that can scrap with them and are not surprised by it. In a sense, LGD is almost the perfect opponent for them to match up to. It's like staring into a mirror and realizing the you in another dimension is actually stronger. You know,
yeah, I'm you, but stronger.
Faster. So I feel like overall, the way LGD need to do this is, number one, they really need to decide who is going to be their starting point, the starting man in the jungler position. I don't think you can go this late into the season and go like, yeah, I don't know who our jungler is. I just don't know who our starting jungler is. Could be this one or that guy.
That kind of, you know, obviously being able to split scrim time, having to make sure that both of them are up to date on what you're doing in terms of playoffs and team coordination. It eats into each other, and then your team doesn't build up that same synergy. And we've seen it a couple of times where, yes, having a substitute or having a replacement is good for competition, But overall, you want to secure a lineup. You want someone who's going to sit there and go, I am the guy you're going to play 90% of your League of Legends with.
It's especially important for for JD Gaming, because they're, number one, they're very solo lane dependent, and the only one that can influence that is the jungler on the top side. Number two, the way JD Gaming play is not necessarily by outsmarting you, it's by surprising you.
Yeah.
They need better synergy to actually pull off most of their playstyle, most of their fights that they do. They're absolutely crazy, unexpected, out of nowhere. A lot of the times the enemy team is just sitting around and they just don't expect it. It could be a 5v5, but JD Gaming win because everyone is on the same page, and they can't do that if they're splitting that precious time, that precious practice time, into two different junglers. So I think that's still the primary dilemma for JD Gaming, and overall it's just you know, against crazy teams, it seems like they're losing a bit of their edge there. And against rock-solid teams, smart teams that play a slower style, they also have difficulties just creating hectic moments as well. So I find it very difficult to see how they're going to go for it. At this point, it's almost guaranteed that they will have to make the best use of their shot during the regional qualifiers rather than the playoffs.
I'll have a quick look at the standings later, but we're going to have our MVP of that last game. It is going to be Kramer on that Ezreal. Did damn well, and that was a lot of damage.
Yeah, I love how confident he was. He was playing 1v2 a lot of times against enemy towers, and because of his AP build with the death cap in there, he was able to get snipes. It was just a 1-2-3 punch, 2 mystic shots land, you throw out the ultimate, and if that doesn't hit, badeMan is there to pick up the slack and just finish up the kill. So very fun composition from LGD, and a lot of hype being instilled in this new roster.
You can see him here, just the amount of damage. This is before he actually finished up his death cap, by the way. But what I loved is that he was dropping the W's and then using his arcane shift as a guaranteed way of proccing that. And I love that in the AP Ezreal, just purely because people just don't respect the pure amount of damage it's able to do. We actually get a perfect example of it coming in here. He lands the W, goes in with the arcane shift. Such a good way of setting up fights, and here he just runs rampant because no one can touch him.
Yeah, he's just so far in the back line, and when he finally comes in, all of the skills are already used up on their side. He also has a Yuuki tagging him. This is just, I know Kramer's one of the greatest pickups this year. LGD found the exact answer they needed, and I feel like this year, even if LG, they will miss playoffs, sorry. Yeah. This year has been
they mathematically cannot make it.
has been a good rebuilding year for LGD. I feel like they found a good direction. Last year was very, very close. They had Y4, and they should have gone into playoffs if not for the conference. And we were kind of surprised by them just, hauling away all their talents. Like, Jinu, out you go. Y4, out you go, even though he was statistically the 4th best AD carry. And this rebuilding phase, to us right now, actually looks like it makes some sense.
Yeah, as I said, if they can keep these guys together, I feel like keeping a hold of Garvey is going to be very difficult. Yes. This guy has shown so much promise at such a young age. I can imagine a lot of big teams being very interested.
EDG, RNG, go away.
Go away. EDG, go away. Get out of here. Get out here, Jinu. No one.
We will have to track his contract date on that one to give you guys an update if he does stay. But congratulations to LGD, and this is also a big sigh of relief for the fans. Their first series win after the match-fixing scandal took away not only their analysts and also 3 players on their roster. So they're at least half a foot outside of that shadow.
And we will have an interview for you guys very, very soon with LGD, translated by our fantastic co-caster Clement here. But before we get to that, before we come into it, I just want to have a quick look into kind of what are your expectations now coming into playoffs? We're coming into where we know where most people are sitting. We know where most teams are going to end up realistically, apart from maybe some mad swings in terms of results. Who's in and who's out in terms of those kind of last 1 or 2 spots?
Of course, it's still very close. We're talking about potentially a 6 teams vying for that final spot, all mathematically possible. Right now, it's of course narrowed down. LGD's out.
I have to hold you. We do have an interview. I've just been told, so we're going to go straight into that interview with LGD. I think.
好的，欢迎到我们赛后采访环节，我是主持人小鱼，恭喜老干爹赢下了今天的比赛。现在来到我们赛后采访的是 Kramer， 请他打个招呼。
Congratulations to LGD. Can you say hello to the fans? And Kramer's answering in perfect Chinese. Hello everyone, I'm LGD's AD carry, I am Kramer. Can you talk about your thoughts after this victory? You guys should be very, very happy after this one. I don't actually understand this part, so I will have to wait for the Chinese translation. That says, Kramer saves the world. It's been a long time, so we were especially happy to get this victory. We feel quite happy for actually tracking down a team that could potentially make it to playoffs. It seems like LGD always performed better after eliminated. Why is that the case? Kramer looks like he's a bit surprised to learn about that fact. The saying is that LGD is invincible after they're mathematically taken out. That's not Kramer's answer, this is just me talking about fact. We don't really know the reason. But when we know that we are eliminated from playoffs, we just want to track other people down with us. So maybe that's why we play better. Great answer. It seems like you guys have been playing quite interesting compositions. What do you think about the comps? I really want to try Garen AD carry, but our coach did not agree. I hope someday we will see your Garen on the Rift. But this split, you guys had a lot of roster changes. You've kept your competitive state. How have you maintained your state or your form?
제가 게임을 하면 이제 옆에 있는 애들이 자꾸 바뀌더라고요. 근데 이제 저라도 이제 여기서 자리를 지키면서 열심히 이제 잘하는 모습을 보여주면 분명히 좋은 팀이 될 거다라고 생각을 했기 때문에.
Oh boy, this is a long answer.
이렇게 좀 버텨왔던 것 같습니다.
Love these.
他打着游戏打着打着，发现身边的人一直在变。
When I kept playing my games, I just realized everyone around me has been changing, and it has just propelled me to keep on to my current position and to focus on myself, to better myself, and hold on to this starting role. Do you think Tristana is now a better solo laner or better in the bot side?
희한하게 요새 메타가 이제 원딜들이 바텀에 오는 게 안 좋고 이제 탑이랑 미드로 가는 게 저는 좀 더 좋다고 생각을 해요.
他觉得现在的打法，这些 AD 是走中或者走上是比较好的。
I feel like it is better in the solo lanes, either top or bot. So what's the issues with Tristana in the bot lane?
그러니까 이제 바텀은 이제 2대2로 쓰는 라인이기 때문에 이제 약간 걔네 같이 조그만 애들이 오면은 이제 뭔가 라인전에서 많이 힘들어가지고 바텀에서는 아예 못 쓰는 것 같아요. 그러니까 이제 트리스타나나 그런 애들 바텀으로.
他觉得约德尔人来下路的
I
话
feel like
有点
Yordles in the bot lane
就是比较劣势，就是
are at a
双线嘛，因为
disadvantage.
可能小炮现在在下路没有那么大的统治力。
Okay, so it's about being a Yordle. Huh, that's interesting. You did a ton of damage in Game 3 with your Ezreal. Why don't you think we see more of Hextech Gunblades on Ezreal these days?
근데 지금 버전에 이즈가 청검으로 별로 안 가는데.
I actually feel like we see quite a few.
일단 팀에서 AP들이 필요하다고 이제 저한테 얘기를 했었고 이제 제가 솔랭 같은 데서 게임을 많이 해보면은 총검을 가면은 이제 상대 딜러 같은 경우는 한 방에 터지고 그렇더라고요. 네, 그래서 총검을 가게 된 것 같아요.
他觉得科技枪这个东西出来以后，能对对面的那个就是那些输出位能造成
Gunblade
一个爆炸的输出吧，能一套秒掉那些
is
输出。
very
所以
powerful against
这个
enemy
攻击
backline
也可以看到，的
carries.
确在
You
后
deal
期的时候，不管是
explosive
对面的
damage.
飞机还是对面的 C 位，感觉一套就全部秒掉了。那么今天
Does
三
seem
队
like
比
the
赛
case.
打
You
得
seem
非
like
常
to
非
be
常
able
的
to
焦灼，
kill
每一局
their
都是
Corki
不看到最后不
just
知
in a
道谁
single
会赢
combo.
那么
And
Kramer
every
觉得
game
这
this
场比
series
赛
seems
这
to have
个
been
比赛
very,
的
very
重点在
close.
哪？
Can you tell us about what you
我们
felt
这
was the
네,
turning
이긴
point
그
in this
중점이랄까?
last game?
어디 있다고 생각하세요?
뭐 일단 저희 팀은 이기면 휴가기 때문에 그거인 것 같아요.
因为我们队伍今天赢了的话，承诺放假。
哦，又可以获
So
得假期
we
了，
felt
感觉
like
是一个向前冲的
the
一个
reason
动
was
力。那么
because
接下
if our
来到
team
了我
won
们
today,
哈
we
比传
could
闻
go
社
on
区的所有的
vacation.
提问。
That was the
他说的
turning
是
point.
今天是七夕节，Kramer 可以给我们粉丝们一个福利吗？
Oh,
可以
today
跟
is
我们中文
actually
说一句
Chinese
我喜欢你
Valentine. Can you say in Chinese that I like you?
오늘 중국의 발렌타인 같은 날인데 그 팬들이 좀 중국어로 무엇이냐를 한번 말해줄 수 있냐고.
시안이
哇，
我喜欢你.
感觉收到了
I like
七夕节
you.
来自 Kramer 的一个表白
Kramer being
相信
very
大家其实
compliant
也
to
可以
the
过得非
requests
常的
of
开心
fans.
那么也请大家之后多多关注我们的 LPL， 关注哈皮潮玩社区，畅饮哈维啤酒，跨界搞事，一起哈皮。接下
That was
Thank
an
you very much,
interesting
Clement.
one. That was a very interesting one. I did not expect the answer. Yordles are at a disadvantage in the bot lane.
I think he's playing too much TFT. You know, they're not as good late anymore. It's not
Yeah.
worth it for us to run it. But I love the idea of us like, you know, what was your motivation? I just want to drag down as many teams as possible.
If I'm unhappy, none of you can be happy.
If I'm not in playoffs, the teams I'm playing are not allowed to be in playoffs. And that's such a weird but nice way to put it. Say like, you know what, we're not going to throw away games. We're not just easy wins. Same with Vici. We're going to make you work for it. You got to come out of it.
Be apologetic by saying, you know, oh, I'm sorry for dragging down JD Gaming.
No.
And the answer was, no, I'm actually happy for dragging you guys down.
Yeah, 100%. And let's have a look.
Great
at
attitude.
How the standings now fare up, as we have got, of course, the top four in. LGD are out, sadly, despite their win tonight. And of course, we have a look at that big old stack. LNG able to cement themselves, but only one game left, though, to make that sweet, sweet 8. It's going to be very, very tough for them at this current form. They only just scraped past Vici.
Yep, and currently, even if JD Gaming win all of their remaining games, they're only going to be at maximum like a +1 game difference over LNG Esports. That is going to be super difficult to achieve. And you were asking me about my opinion on who's going to make it into playoffs. Currently, I do favor WE just a little bit. I feel like they have had a clean early game. Beishang is on fire, and they've always had Daddy Mystic to shore up the late game.
I don't know how I feel about that one, but of course, JD Gaming, as you said, dropping down means they only have got those 2 games left. They both of them they will end up on +1, which isn't exactly the best situation to be in. It is pretty much between, I would say, it looks like Team W, again, making that late run into playoffs at the expense of other teams.
I don't know how they do it. I guess the motto, keep your dreams alive, is really something you want to put your faith towards. But just looking at the other matchups, Vici versus EDG. EDG, of course, still not guaranteed in playoffs. They have to be strong on that one. And finally, we go back to WE, the guys that we were talking about against Rogue Warriors going down in Xi'an.
Yep. Rogue Warriors obviously beating JDG 2-0 recently as well, so they're still in the hunt for playoffs if they can. If they lose this, I do believe they are out as well, with Team WE chasing. So that one is a playoff contention. That's going to be Friday. But we will be back on Saturday, where we've got LGD, the victorious team today, against Billy Gaming, and then our match of the week, match of the century, match of the year, whatever. Match of the Eon if you're from EU, apparently.
It's a long
IG
time.
versus RNG. These guys, both on a relatively, dip. They need to bring it back up if they want to show up for playoffs.
Yeah, this is the match to be hyped about because even if you watch their recent slides, they always show up in full force when going up against each other. These two teams were the titans of 2018. RNG won most of the tournaments, but IG won the most important one. And ever since then, they've always had a little bit something for each other, you know? Just
Absolutely.
a bit of that spark.
And the handy thing as well, if you're an IG fan, is that they've had all week to prepare for this. Didn't play a single game until Saturday. So this is all the prep, all the resources devoted to this one series, one best of 3. I'm excited. I'm pretty hyped.
I'm definitely super hyped up for that one. You know, Rookie and Xiaohu, I feel like they're playing on very similar levels. Xiaohu has gone up, Rookie down a peg this split with all the other things that he had to deal with. So it's very equal matchups all across the board. And the only one that we really want to kind of pay attention, the ones that I want to pay attention to, are also the possible substitution of a new jungler coming from Invictus Gaming. They did announce that they're pulling up someone from their LDL squad, so it might not be between King and Nit. It might be someone completely new.
Absolutely, and we'll have to wait and see. But sadly, ladies and gentlemen, that is all we have time for tonight. Thank you so much for joining us through all 6 games. Of course, it's been a Dominion production. Thank you so much to our producer and, of course, everyone behind the scenes. Thank you, Clement, for joining me and adding some fantastic analysis to our games.
I think I know why Yordles are not good in the bot lane.
Go on.
They can't see past the minions. They're too short.
And on that bombshell, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to end it. We will see you guys again on Saturday.